Hi, my name's Kate with Knit and Gather. I'm working on the Karine Hat Pattern here. So I've reached the point where I'm ready to join my brim together. This is happening on round 34 on the color chart. So we have our provisional cast on edge here. So I'm going to show you how to pick up these stitches onto a separate needle and then knit this edge together with our current round or our next coming round here. So you'll need a second needle. I'm using another circular needle that is a little bit longer than my 16-inch that I have going here. This way I can just put a stopper on one end and a needle tip on the other. Slide your cord so that an end is close to your left side here. And for this tail, I'm not going to put the slip knot itself on the needle. I'm going to pick up this stitch that it is coming from below. And I can slide the slip knot off of the cord and pull this out. Before I proceed, I'm going to weave in this tail really quickly just so it's tucked on the inside of the work. You are welcome to do this later if you would like to. Okay, I think my needle fell out of that stitch. Here it is. Super. Now we are ready to use this stitch saver cord to our advantage. So the way these work, it's a tiny little tube. You can insert the tube onto the tip of your needle. I'm going to put this on my needle here, kind of as far as it will go. I like to do a little tug test first before I proceed, so you can just lightly pull on the cord and make sure it's not pulling off of your needle. You don't want to lose all these stitches in this process. Okay, so I have this first little stitch here. Now I'm going to kind of carefully work this through these live stitches. So we'll get a little, you can spread these out actually, it might be a little easier. Okay, so we're going to push our needle through these live stitches. You can try simultaneously pulling on the cord. Just working our needle through our live stitches all the way around. Take your time. You don't want to just pull on the cord. I have pulled it off the needle before, so just a warning so that you don't end up doing that. But they're pretty sticky, so it should stay on your needle tip. Okay, so we've made it through successfully. And now we can take this off the needle. Boop, and now we're done with this cord. So that was super helpful. Love those. Okay, now I still have my cap on one end and then my working needle. It kind of looks like it's backwards, but when you fold it inside, it's gonna work out the right way. So this part's a little tricky to finagle, so we're just going way up through the hat. I'm gonna grab both the cap and the needle. I don't wanna like snag any of this nice color work that we just did. And I'm going to fold it inside, and hopefully this will line up, and then we can work our join round. My lovely Madge stitch stoppers here. Also, good idea to put a couple of these on your working needle so you don't lose any of your live stitches in this process either. All right, so I have this longer cord here. I'm just gonna like stick this on the inside so it's out of the way. I can take these off now. All right, so this is the setup we are looking for. So we're having two left needles now, and then our existing working right needle. Now I'm ready to begin the join and continue following the chart. So I'm knitting my first stitch here with that contrast color. I have 5 main colors in a row. So we're knitting these needles together. So we're knitting one stitch from the front needle, picking up a stitch from the back needle or the inside needle, and we're working these like a knit two together and then slipping them both off. think one of the trickiest parts is making sure you don't slip off more stitches off the left needle. So just be really careful. Take your time with this row. It will probably take a while, but that's okay. This part is going to be visible on the hat, so just keep that in mind as you work this round. Front needle, back needle, knitting them together. Here. Okay, now I'm ready for a contrast color stitch. So you're still following the chart and working color work however you normally do, whether you're knitting in combination using both hands or just picking or throwing. That shouldn't change just as long as you're joining your cast on edge with your current round. So I just knit a contrast color, and I'm going to knit a main color. So that's it. You're just working this round, picking up stitch from the front needle, stitch from the inside needle, and knit them together. So continue in this manner all the way across your round. We're not increasing or decreasing any stitches on this round. You're just going to follow the chart as you normally would, following round 34 as marked. And after you finish this round, you'll still be on your working needle that you were using previously, and you will have worked all the stitches off your inside needle, and then you won't need that one anymore, and then you can continue with the pattern. Also, a quick note, if you come across stitches where you feel like it's easier to knit the back needle stitch or the inside needle stitch through the back loop, that is totally acceptable. As long as you are picking up that stitch and knitting it with your front needle stitch, as long as they get joined, that is fine. The idea of this cast on is that it creates a really nice stretchy bind rather than doing like a long tail cast on and joining, which can be really effective for structured necklines and things like that. Here I've come to my final couple stitches here. So, finishing up this round. And that's it. I'm going to slide this over. Now I am done with this spare needle that we used to pick up all of those cast on stitches. If you ended your spare needle a stitch or two before you reach the beginning, or if you have an additional stitch as you're coming past the beginning of round marker, just continue knitting them all together, either before or after the marker. Again, if you're off slightly, that part doesn't really matter. The inside is not going to be visible, it's just this outer facing part of the hat. This part, your join, actually forms the very bottom base edge of the hat. So this is the join in here. So that's what we just did. And then there's some more rows of the colorwork chart to follow before we end up switching our knitting direction. And if you're following this pattern, I have a video for you of this step because that is the last, hopefully tricky part of this pattern of the Karine hat. So check that out as well. If you've made it this far, I am proud of you. There are some tricky steps in this pattern, but I hope that it is worth it and that you are happy with your project. So I have all of my cast on stitches joined with my current round, and now I can just proceed. So there's a few more color work rounds to do, and then yeah, some other fun steps like I said. So thanks for tuning in. Hope this was helpful, and happy knitting.